Hi everyone, it's Mr. Johansson, and we're talking long division today. This can be a topic that a lot of students dread. They feel like they can get lost in it. The standard algorithm is fairly complicated. There's a lot of steps. And so I want to tell you a couple of things. One is that there are many ways to do division. What we call the standard algorithm in America is not standard everywhere in the world. And the other thing to know is that students do not have to master the standard algorithm, the American standard algorithm, until 6th grade actually. So we use division over the course of several years, several grade levels, and don't expect mastery until 6th grade. So a little bit of pressure off. However, that does not mean that students shouldn't know how to solve a division problem. What we're asking them to do is to use strategies that have more number sense to them, more mathematical meaning to them than the standard algorithm actually does. And so I want to show you today a quick and easy one that many students feel very comfortable with. And so if your students know how to divide a one-digit number, this is a strategy that they can use. And here's what you do. So we're going to write down 3 division problems. We're going to do the 7, the 3, and the 4. And I'm getting those numbers from the 734 up here. Please notice that I left some space, and that's kind of important. I left some space right here and right here. And that space is going to become very important. And honestly, I left some space here because I just get in the habit of always leaving a little bit of space. So just to let you know that you're going to need a little bit of space there, but not on the first one. That's optional. All right, then you put down the divide 5, and that comes from here. And we're going to say I have 7 of something, and I want to make a group of 5. How many groups of 5 can I make when I have 7 of something? Well, I can make one group. If I had 7, and I make a group of 5, how many do I have left over? I have 2 left over. All right, at this point, this is why you had to leave a little bit of space for right here. Once you're done, you take this 2, the remainder, whatever the remainder happens to be, and you put it right here. So now we're going to take 5 divided by into 23. 5 divided into 23. So I have 23 somethings. I want to make groups of 5. Well, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 is too many. I can only go to 23. So it looks like I can make 4 groups of 5. Well, I had 23. I used up 4 groups of 5. I used up 20. How many do I have left over? I have 3 left over. And remember, we're going to do something with that 3. We don't just leave it hanging out there. So we're going to take this 3 now, and we're going to bring it over here. And our new problem is 34 divided by 5. So I have 34 somethings, and I want to put it into groups of 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 35 is too many. So it looks like I can make 6 groups of 5. If I make 6 groups of 5, I've used up 30 out of the 34. And I have a remainder left over of 4. All right, so let's go talk about how to write the answer now. You've actually done the original problem. The 1 that's right here goes in the hundreds place above the 7. This 4 goes right here, and this 6 goes right here. You're not quite done yet because we had some leftover pieces. Remember that we had 4 left over. And what most teachers will have you do is just write a remainder 4. You will also start seeing it written this way. 146 with a remainder of 4 out of 5. The numerator 4 is your remainder. The number 5 is what we're dividing by. So either way works for me. But this alternative way of doing the long division, it's really the same steps. But for kids, it takes less room. Their work can stay neater, and it tends to work really well for them. I'd like to show you one more, and show you what to do when we have a slightly different situation pop up. This time we're going to take 237 and we're going to divide it by 3. And so using that same strategy, I have 3 numbers, so I make 3 division signs. The 3's go on the outside, and I've got a 2, a 3, and a 7 here. Again, leaving space here and here. Well, you might recognize right away that if I have 2, I cannot make a group of 3. So this one's actually 0. It really doesn't work. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 2, I'm going to put it right over here, and I'm going to start with this problem. I'm going to say 23 divided by 3. Now, if you want to see what's going on and why that works, I'll show you that at the end of the video. But when you have a number where you end up with 0 as an answer, you can combine the first 2 numbers. And that works with the first 2 especially well. All right, so now we're going to go into 23 divided by 3. Well, if I remember my multiplication correctly, that should be 7, gets me as close as I can get. So I had 23. I'm using up 7 groups of 3, which is 21. And I have 2 left over. All right, so that remainder 2, do you remember what to do with it and where I'm going to write it? If you said it goes over here by the 7, you're in good shape. So now I have 27 of something. I want to make groups of 3. And I just happen to remember my 9s. 9 times 3 is 27. I have no remainder left over. And so my answer comes from here and from here. 79. And I mentioned I would show you what's going on with that first digit again, because that can be confusing for some kids. So I want to get rid of my green lines here. And I just want to reiterate, we're going to go back to the beginning. I was saying that 3 is dividing 2. And if I have 2, I don't have any whole groups. I have 0. And 0 times 3 is 0. So I had 2. I used up none of them. I still have 2 left over. And this 2 is right there. So it really works either way. If you notice right away that you're going to have a 0 in your first box, your first answer space, you can combine the first 2 numbers. If you prefer to spread them out like that, that works as well. So I hope that helps. If you're doing long division, this method is especially nice when you're learning to do the standard algorithm. And it really is the standard algorithm. I'm going to have one more video about this where I show you why this really is the standard algorithm. And then I'll have a separate video series on how to use menus to do division, especially with numbers that you don't know as well, especially large numbers. So I hope that helps. And as always, give me a holler if you need any help.